With audio. With audio.
Look, you want me to do this?
Do we, why do we want audio? Do we want audio? Just on the tin.
Put them on mute because if you wait,
I'm sure you want to go.
Fingers and stuff. Don't start.
Sound. See if it's any good.
What is Connor doing right here? Is this a spare? Cables. The shops are everywhere too. No, it's just literally melting.
Yeah, give it a square. Did it good? Yeah. Sound.
I swear my mum is not in messages.
Why?
She's like, so where are you? Even though I've texted that I'm here. And she's like, huh? Instead of waiting for this one dropped out.
My parents didn't want one
I'm-
come.
My mum's expecting me, fine.
That what?
My mum's expecting me.
Oh, with peeps. Well, I haven't even started yet. See, I will watch this for another 20 minutes. I haven't started it yet.
So we can get people to come in, and sometimes it like takes a
Yeah,
while
it's,
to go.
Yeah, this isn't a bad idea. Get a big block of dots in you when it's street.
Oh no,
We
it's
should
under
stick
right.
some drink
Yeah.
holders. Yeah, that's
Tomorrow we have got a total of 7 people watching at the moment.
Let's keep it like this.
I just thought 'cause then you can hear what it's doing.
Oh, 7 people.
8.
Oh, 8 people.
Mr. Sandra in there.
Where is it?
Up my bum.
No, because I need to get his lapel. So he won't.
Probably in his office.
Well, Ollie says he won't come and get it until the last minute.
Yeah, he won't. No, it Mr. Sandra.
Well, no problem, because he'll have to come to me.
Not necessarily. We can do Ollie.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm at the gas, so why would he want to come?
The big red. Andrew Montague is in there. How Andrew Montague is watching now
Does he really watch?
live.
Ollie, you know it's 2 minutes late.
I watch.
And, oi Andrew, if you can hear me,
Hang on.
then you're a really nice friend, Andrew.
What? Well, you've got CH. You'll see my face.
I just heard you say Andrew is watching. I just heard you say Andrew was watching.
Oh, you did just heard it.
Stephen, are you watching?
I just heard Stephen.
Can't you comment?
Where's MC7?
I kind of want to like see if audio and sound.
Steve, that's one lot. Steve, that's one lot. Or 10 people.
It's like half an hour.
Yeah.
10 people in one line.
I'm subscribed to Sound Yeah. There's some
Sit down, won't you?
You showed Jake the picture of the right. What did he say? Come out with his face. Oh wow.
I don't know. What you just said?
What's this music song? She's supposed to be playing the harp.
She said she wouldn't
Get
play.
the music off. Turn the harp thing up. Where's the volume on the harp?
Not doing lighting elements. I'm not doing lighting and sound. said he understands.
That's unlikely. Why are you live streaming? I'm staying up there. You are you? Why? Oh, I'll fix it up there. No. I'm outside. Yeah, he's out there. I'll be back. Don't worry about it.
No, they get there on they come out here, they come out the back, they go get photos of the first roll back, and then they come back out.
I'll be fine with this. It's not hard to actually. You don't need interesting angles or anything. All I do is get. There's 7 viewers. What's going on? Let's go close. Just share the awareness of it. Promote it.
It's on Twitter.
What's up?
Three likes that you like your own live stream. Let's go.
Every single YouTuber likes it.
I didn't want to. It's like liking your own photos on Instagram, just don't do it.
Yeah, that's because I think when you don't have very many likes, it makes a big difference. YouTubers that get like 500k likes per video, it's like I love what you do. Charles.
Roach's assistant is
You know, loads of people. Yeah, and then we'll have loads of viewers.
loads of viewers. Only 32 subscribers. Let's get some promotion happening.
It's the audio.
Last thing I just hear is talking.
How sensitive. Pick up us, but
Oh, it's got 4 likes, guys. It's really enough in the world.
guys, can we have some hype in chat, guys? Oh, damn it, guys.
Really?
Guys,
Why don't you go quickly dislike it?
guys, can we get an F in chat for that? Right, guys.
Go dislike it.
I'll watch it. I'll put it on my phone.
We're going to use it all
I think we should go for a nice endearing brown line. You can get anything with that colour.
I'm trying to watch you.
You have to refresh it. Oh, you're going to ruin the race.
Oh, you want 33 subscribers?
Whatever.
That's quite nice.
Yeah, you probably what? Can you give me a dislike?
Like the video.
Have you seen Andrew? About this says 18.
evening and welcome to Southern College. I'm Dan Ridges, the head boy.
And I am Verity Spencer, the head girl. Thank you to Abby Wilkinson for her wonderful musical welcome.
Please give a warm welcome to our stage party of Head Teacher Mr Sabra, Karen Boucher, Chair of Governors, Mr Bradbury, Head of Sixth Form, and our guest of honour, Mrs Marie Rowe.
We'll start tonight with a video introduction from our trip to Uganda last summer. A group of Year 13 students embarked on a trip of a lifetime to do charity work in the East African country. Please sit back and enjoy.
To introduce our celebrations tonight, please welcome to the stage our Chair of Governors, Karen Boucher.
Didn't realise I was first. Good evening everyone and welcome to our awards evening. I'd also like to welcome our guest of honour, Marie Rowe. This is the evening that we celebrate both academic and extracurricular achievements for last year's exam students. And once again, we're very pleased with the exam achievements with outstanding GCSE results and excellent A-level results. This is down to the hard work of our students, well done to them, the support from you, the parents, though I'm not sure whether they might think it's a bit of nagging from parents, and our staff. The staff here do an amazing job. Even more so when it gets closer to exam time. They put on revision classes both after school and in the holidays and breakfast revision sessions. Yes, they want the school to do well, but they also want students to do well too and get the best grades they possibly can. I must also mention our exams officers who do an incredible job sorting out who should be where and when, and they work with staff to ensure that students who find exams extremely stressful are well looked after. As an invigilator, I see behind the scenes and know what an amazing job everyone does, and I would like to thank all of them. We've had a record number of applications both for the sixth form and year 7, And for next year, we have 400 applications for 270 places in Year 7. So there's no pressure for next year. Looking at the destinations for last year's Year 13, there are some amazing future career choices. Veterinary physiotherapy, medicine, architecture, sports journalism, law, teaching, nursing, building surveying, fashion and agriculture, just to pick out a few. As you know, schools are judged by their results, but we also offer a huge variety of extracurricular activities run by both staff and students. There are the usual sporting activities, such as drama, sport, music, but more recent ones include mindfulness, Warhammer and Rubik's Cube clubs. Duke of Edinburgh Awards are very successful as well, especially now that the age range has been lowered. There's been exchange visits to Germany and for the first time to Spain, visits to New York, Marburg and the battlefields. Some sixth formers, as you've just seen, went to Uganda in the summer, and I know that this year sixth form are busy fundraising to take part in the World Challenge to go travelling to India and the Himalayas next summer. So that should be amazing when we see videos of what they've done now. The school is very committed to fundraising and helping others. The school's charity last academic year raised £655.33 for the Make-A-Wish charity. Or is it 60? Is it 6,000? Yeah, I've missed a 6 out. £6,655.33. And that was more than Claire's accessories have made nationally. If you've been in Claire's, you know what it's like in there. There was also the Macmillan coffee morning and lots of cakes on sale, tempting everyone. A visit's been made to the homeless shelter and food collected in school for the food bank. Just recently, there's been the shoebox appeal and the charity hat collection. Around this time last year, the school hosted the BBC4 Any Questions, and it's a real shame that they couldn't broadcast some of the questions that our students asked in the warm-up beforehand. The 24-hour football match definitely tested the stamina of everyone, and I met some very tired staff on the Saturday morning when they still had a few hours to go. Even Mr. Sandra joined in. During our 60th birthday celebrations, lots of ex-students came to visit, including people who came here on the first day the school opened. They had some tales to tell, and I don't know how they'd get on if they were here now. I think there'd be lots of break times and after-school detentions for them. We also had an ex-chair of Governor's visit, who just happened to be the Archbishop of Canterbury. And he probably spent more time than he should have done talking to our students, and I know he was very impressed. An ex-sixth former has been remembered with the Sabrina Jones Garden, and there's been a photography competition in her name. The centenary of the First World War was commemorated in November by an evening in school, and some students took part in a National Inspire event held at Coventry Cathedral as part of the centenary. There's been a successful Southern's Got Talent, and our students have definitely got talent. And last week's dance production, which included some amazing singers. We've had technology and music festivals, and the latter included contributions from the primary schools. And there's still the carol concert to look forward to tomorrow. And we hope that the students have been able to join in at least some of these activities, clubs, while you've been here. The school is also very conscious of the mental health and well-being of students, and events are regularly held to support this and recognise the pressures that young people face today. Our changing rooms have at long last been refurbished. I think if some of you actually came here to school yourself, prior to them being refurbished, they were probably like they were when you were here. We have funding in place for a new sports hall, and are just waiting to see when the work can begin. And you may have noticed, but you might not, we've got new windows and doors in the hall, and and some nice new blinds, so hopefully come the summer that will be easier when it's exam season. Finally, we've just been recognised as a world-class school, achieving the World Class Schools Quality Mark 2018. An amazing end to another eventful year. I'll say one thing to the students that I said last year: when you get your certificates, put them somewhere safe, because there'll come a time when you'll say to your mum or your dad or whoever, "They're my certificates," because it happens in my house on a regular basis. Put them somewhere safe. Before I hand you back to Daniel and Verity, on behalf of the governors, I'd like to thank you all for coming to celebrate this evening, and thank you, parents, for your support for the last 5 or 7 years, and we wish all our ex-students every success in the future, and we hope you all have a happy Christmas.
We now come on to the awards. To outline, there are 4 categories of awards being made this evening. Subject awards for outstanding academic achievement in GCSE and A-level external exams. Special awards to recognise specific achievements, and trophies to recognise exceptional performance and effort. We are also using this evening to present a number of students and former students with their exam certificates.
Most of the awards are in the form of £10 or £20 gift tokens, up to a maximum total of £100, and several of the special awards also include an engraved trophy.
There is an important reminder to all award winners. Please collect your award, then come down the steps at the front of the stage, walk down the centre aisle and leave the hall via the left-hand door. Have your photo taken and re-enter through the right-hand door before returning to your seat. I hope you remember that. We start with the Year 11 GCSE awards. There is 1 award for each of the GCSE subjects studied in Year 11.
Firstly, the winner of an impressive 4 awards is Maisie White. Maisie wins awards for biology, chemistry, English language and German.
Next, also winning 4 awards for maths, further maths, music and physics is Molly Bursey.
Finally, winning 4 awards in business, history, philosophy and double science is Faye Cousins.
2 awards in child development and Spanish is Ines Achuns.
Also in 2 awards is William McEwen for BTEC Business and Engineering. Lastly, 2 awards go to Rebecca Line in Art and Design and Geography.
Next we have winners of single awards, who will come on the stage in groups of 3 or 4. For food, graphics and resistant materials are Ellie Clark, Sophie Reynolds and Lucy Davies.
Heidi Russian for drama and Luke Pike for English literature.
French, Imogen Gumpy, Computer Science, Daniel Gunthorpe, and Level 2 OCR Nationals IT, Oliver Quago Hills.
Winning media, Roisin Hamilton, photography, Sadie Taylor, and physical education, Amy Carroll.
Finally, Shauna O'Neill wins BTEC Sport, and an Overall Progress Award goes to Daniel Radbourne.
Most of these students are now studying for A-levels in the 6th form here with us.
Next, we have the A-level awards. A-level awards are presented to students from last year's Year 13, most of whom have gone on to study for degree courses at colleges and universities across the country. I am pleased to welcome back so many ex-students. However, some of them cannot be here as not all courses have finished for Christmas.
So starting with 3 awards is Ewan Rees. He wins prizes for politics, economics and history.
Next, with 2 awards, Lauren Cashmore for art and design and mathematics.
Also with 2 awards in biology and chemistry, Zoe Leadley.
Chris Simmons wins 2 awards for philosophy and ethics and sociology.
The winner of 2 awards for French and EPQ is Georgia Lowell.
2 awards go to Ella Sparks for drama and psychology.
Finally, 2 awards won for PE and German by Amy Brooks.
Next, we have winners of single awards who will come on the stage in groups of 3 or 2 or 3. Ian Marks wins business and Sam Aries will BTEC business. Unfortunately, they cannot be with us tonight.
So we'll try Josie Woodrow for English language and Stephen Faulkner for English literature.
Winning further maths, Katie Line, graphics, Amy Mazarek, and health and social care, Marianne Zack.
We have Finley Campbell for computing, Emily Cousins for IT, and Georgia Edgington for media studies.
Felicity Barlow wins photography and Sam Walker takes physics.
Finally, Chris D'Agostino for Spanish and Annabelle Barlow for textiles.
We break now for a musical interlude. Abigail Wilkinson will now perform a solo performance on her harp.
Now move on to the special awards and trophies. These are made each year for a variety of reasons. They range from examination success to outstanding contribution to the life of the college and the wider community. The later awards also carry a trophy which the recipient keeps for the year. We are very pleased that this year nearly all of our winners are able to be with us tonight.
Before doing the trophies, we would first like to ask for a round of applause for all those here tonight and who may not have won an award or trophy. We know many of you worked incredibly hard and deserve the recognition for this. We wish you all the best and every success for the future. Please put your hands together for all those who are here tonight.
First of the awards in this category are the GCSE Awards. The following students received an award for their superb achievement across all their GCSE subjects. They achieved an incredible array of 7, 8s and 9s. They are
Emily Hayden, Rebecca Lyne, Luke Pike,
Molly Mercy and Maisie White.
across all their A-level subjects. Please welcome back to the college and onto the stage
Lauren Cashmore, Catherine Lyne, Chris Simmons,
Charlie Thurlow, Zoe Liebling and Ella Sparks.
For service to the college, a number of students were involved in the paired reading scheme. This involves sixth form students helping out year 7 and 8 pupils with their reading. This year, we would like to give the prize to Emily Boddington.
Unfortunately, Emily cannot be with us tonight, so she will receive her prize and certificate at a later date. Finally, for gaining an A star in French GCSE a year early, Lydia Compton.
We continue our presentation of special awards with the major awards. First is the Determination Award for Drama. You will now hear from the Head of Department, Miss Ferguson.
The person winning the award this evening is the definition of someone who exerts themselves 1,000%. Ask this person to give you a page of work, they give you 15. And when the going gets tough, they keep muscling through with the storm going on around them. The heartening thing about this person is they just do not know how lovely they are. A room is infected by their everlasting positivity, yet it never makes their head grow too big. I will never forget how they nearly fell over on GCSE results day, shocked that they had done so well. And at this point, it was a delight to say I told you so, and proof that hard work does reap rewards. The winner of the Drama Determination Award this evening is Sam Enston.
Memorial Shield for Biology, awarded each year in memory of Rachel Farndon, a sixth form student from the college who was tragically killed in a road accident shortly after completing her A-levels. Mr. Eltringham is now going to speak about this year's winner.
The Rachel Farndon Memorial Shield for Biology this year goes to a student who did very well through sheer hard work and determination. We are very pleased to give the Rachel Farndon Memorial Shield for Biology in 2018 to Georgia Lyle.
We now have the Barry Coldry Award for Physics, presented each year in memory of the former head of science at the college. This year's winner will now be presented by Mr. Eltringham.
The Barry Coldry Award for Physics this year goes to a student who was exceptional in both his physics and his mathematics. His A in physics was a result of his hard work and high ability. This year, the Barry Coldry Award for Physics goes to Charlie Thurlow.
The James Spencer White Award for Effort. It is so important that effort is recognised in the same way as achievement, and the next group of awards are made for this reason. James Spencer White was a former chair of governors. This award is made each year to the student whose staff feel made the greatest effort to achieve their highest possible grades in external exams. Mrs. Vincent is going to explain about this year's winner.
The Joe Spencer Award for Effort goes to a student whose enthusiasm was second to none. The amount of times Luke's hand went up in a history lesson was too many to count. However, this enthusiasm was matched with his effort level and led to great results. The Joe Spencer Award for Effort this year goes to Luke Pike.
We now have the highly commended for effort. These awards to be presented to Year 11 students who, in the opinion of their subject teachers, made a considerable effort to achieve the highest possible GCSE grades. The winners are Gabrielle Bucher, Samuel Engston and Emily Hayden.
The Rosie's Music Trust Award. This award is presented annually in memory of 8-year-old Rosie Holland Pass from Napton, who died in June 1996. A trust fund was set up in her name to encourage other children to share her love of music. Mrs. Thompson is going to explain about this year's winner.
The person receiving the Roses Music Trust Award has been involved in a wide range of music making since starting in Year 7. She has been a valued member of the concert orchestra and has added beautiful harmonies to Vox Rocks. She has also performed solos and duets in many concerts and has been highly commended in Southern's Got Talent. This person's impressive musicianship allows her to excel in a range of styles, from classical violin pieces to jazz piano and contemporary pop songs. So, with my personal thanks for making a significant contribution to music throughout the college, the Roses Music Trust Award goes to Molly Versey.
The Andrew Travers Music Award. This award is in memory of Andrew Travers, who died tragically just weeks before completing his A-level courses in the summer of 2006. One of Andrew's great passions in life was his music, and in particular the drums. He was part of a very popular and successful band called Old Rico, and was on the verge of going on to university to study music. A trust fund was set up in Andrew's name to offer financial support to any student wishing to pursue some aspect of their musical education. Once again, Mrs. Thompson will tell us about this year's winner.
The person receiving the Andrew Travers Music Award is outwardly very unassuming, but there is no mistaking the passion she feels for performing when she sings. I first became aware of her when she was in Year 7. This powerful voice, singing Let It Go, just stopped everyone in their tracks, but all we could see on stage was a small figure. Since then, this person has been continually involved in music making, as a violinist in concert orchestra and a pianist, as well as being a singer. And she seems to have thoroughly enjoyed the whole experience, not mentioning a few nerves along the way, of course. It is my pleasure to give the Andrew Travers Music Award to Maisie White.
The Roger Carr Award for Engineering. This award is sponsored by Southern Rotary 2000. Mr. Weston is going to talk about the recipient of this award.
This year, the Roger Carr Award goes to a student who made exceptional progress in CNC and CAD-CAM, making a really high quality project for a laptop stand and container. This year, the Roger Carr Award goes to Oliver Redgrave.
The Graham Knight Award for Art. This award is given to an outstanding artist. Mr. Valentine will speak about the winner for 2018.
This year's Graham Knight Award goes to a student whose work was characterised by intellectual endeavour and creative ambition, and also extremely hard work. This year's Graham Knight Award goes to Beth Ovens.
The Graham Knight Award for Technology. The Graham Knight Award for Technology goes to a committed and talented student in product design. Mr. Weston will now talk about the winner.
The Graham Knight Award for Technology this year goes to a student who made a unique shoe storage device in the steampunk style. A lot of different techniques in making such complicated forms. This year, the Graham Knight Technology Award goes to Lauren Cashmore.
The Jennifer Fenning Award. Jennifer was a student at Southern until 2008 when she completed her A-levels in drama, English literature and media. She studied at Worcester University and graduated in 2011. Sadly, Jennifer died in the summer of 2014. Jennifer was an incredibly diligent student, and the award was created to reward a student in the sixth form who would work hard in order to achieve their A-levels. Mrs. Green is going to speak about this year's winner.
The Jennifer Ann Fennell Award for the Most Diligent Student this year is going to someone who was a shining example of what an English student does. They attended every single revision session with a smile upon their face. They were dedicated, they tutored others when they were struggling, and has been an all-round asset to the English department. This year, the award goes to Emily Hayden.
The Dave Knapp Award. This award was donated by Dave Knapp, a former deputy head teacher who worked tirelessly for the benefit of students and to help the school achieve the outstanding status. This year's winner will be explained by Mr. Bradbury.
This is the trophy. Unfortunately, the winner isn't here, but this year it goes to a student who was really impressive in her involvement with Health and Social Care at the school. She was really committed, and Health and Social Care did a great deal of sort of charity work and things with the homeless shelter, and she was really involved in that. The winner is Mariam Zak. Unfortunately, she's not here, but she will get it at a later date.
The Cherry Owen Award for Mathematics. This award is presented in memory of Cherry Owen, a former head of maths who led an outstanding department. Cherry loved maths, loved teaching and inspired students of all ages and abilities. The motto in life was, whatever it takes, and this award is to be presented to a student who demonstrated this attitude throughout their studies of mathematics at Southern. Mr. Giacontelli will speak about this year's winner.
This year, the Cherry Owen Award goes to a student who excelled in maths from Year 7 through to further maths in Year 11 and 13. They achieved an A-star in both maths and further maths at A-level and have moved on to study at Cambridge. This year, the Cherry Owen Award goes to Katie Lyon.
The Howard Mann Cup for Rugby. This long-standing award is presented in memory of a former student, Howard Mann. The award is made each year to the most promising rugby player from any age group. It was once even presented to former deputy head teacher, Mr. Eden, when it was still 4 points for a try. Mr. Elkerton is going to tell us about the winner.
This year, the Howard Mann Cup goes to a student who has shown dedication to his rugby throughout the school. He's shown sportsmanship and dedication to both training and playing. It is also a special award in that his father won the award in 1903. Congratulations to Will Eden.
The Nathan Rose Memorial Cup for Football. The next award is a new award in memory of past student Nathan Rose. Nathan came to Southern until 2008 and is remembered by Mr. Elkerton as a really happy and friendly student who loved his sport, especially football. Sadly, Nathan died in a car accident in the summer of 2015. The award is made in his honour to a talented footballer. Mr. Loudon will talk about this year's winner.
This year's Nathan Rhodes Memorial Cup for Football goes to a young man who's performed with panache and verve throughout his football season. He can be relied upon to pressure opposition defences with his deft ball control and turn of pace. He scored some outstanding goals this year that truly showcase his undoubted ability. This year, the Nathan Rhodes Memorial Cup for Football goes to Owen Kennedy.
The Ruth Sheriff Cup for Outstanding Achievement. Ruth Sheriff was the first head girl at Southern High School, as it was known over 50 years ago. It is made in recognition of outstanding academic achievement. Mr. Bradbury will explain about this year's recipient.
This year's winner of the Ruth Sheriff Cup is really deserved. She came to us in sixth form as an external student in year 12, and she immediately stood out as someone who was friendly and polite, but also really academic able and passionate. Through good times and difficult, she worked very hard and achieved incredible 3 A stars at the end of year 13, becoming one of the very few students in Salem history to achieve this. The winner is Zoe Liebley.
Ed Priest Community Sports Award. The third of our sports awards this evening is presented in memory of Ed Priest, who passed away shortly after completing his GCSE courses. Ed's many friends in the college wanted to do something to remember Ed by, and as well as raising a considerable sum of money for the Teenage Cancer Trust, they also decided to fund an annual award in Ed's name. Ed did so much to help other students, including younger students, to get involved in sporting activities and to improve their skills and abilities. The idea of a community sports award seemed most appropriate. Ms McLachlan will detail this year's winner.
This year, the Ed Priest Community Sports Award goes to a student who gave up valuable time whilst at Salmon College to the Girls Football Club and the Girls Football matches. Since leaving Salmon College, the student has come back into school to help out with the girls' football again, not only giving up valuable time for the club, but also in our PE lessons. This year, the Ed Priest Community Sports Award goes to Shauna O'Neill.
Unfortunately, Shauna can't be with us today, but she will get the trophy passed on to her.
The Netball Trophy. The Netball Trophy is an award for students who dedicated their time in school and outside school. Their commitment and dedication is recognised in this award. Miss McLachlan is going to speak about this year's winner.
This year, the Netball Trophy Award goes to a student who showed outstanding performance in years 7 to 11. They showed outstanding commitment and exemplary performance in their netball matches. This year, the Netball Trophy Award goes to Jodie Stevens.
So we now have the John Turner Community Service Award. This award is in memory of John Turner, a former Salem Town Councillor and Vice Chair of Governors at the college. The annual Festival of Arts, Crafts and Hobbies held in this hall each November provides much of the financial support for the awards being presented this evening. Ms Harwood will explain about this year's winner.
This year, the John Turner Community Service Award goes to a student who went on the Uganda trip. She worked so hard to raise the money through cake sales and crafts work. She was determined to raise this money by herself, not relying on others. This year, the award goes to Sarah D'Ambro Denson.
Sadly, Sarah cannot be here tonight, but will collect her award at a later date.
The Young Shall Grow Award. This brand new award has been provided to us by the Young Shall Grow charity after the trip to Ghana last summer. It is given to a student in recognition of their participation in charity work and the community. Miss Harwood will outline this year's winner.
The Young Shall Grow Award this year goes to a student that also went on the Uganda trip. She fully immersed herself in the project, working closely with the community, making relationships. She returned to Uganda in October, carrying out research for the charity team's view. I couldn't be prouder of her. This year, the award goes to Harriet Byerly.
The Holywell Masonic Lodge Literacy Award. This award is kindly donated by the Holywell Masonic Lodge. It's awarded for outstanding effort in English. Miss Clough will explain about our winner 2018.
This year, the Holywell Lodge Literacy Award goes to a student who has shown absolute diligence in English literature and has helped the English department with running the Creative Writing Club. This year, the Holywell Lodge Literacy Award goes to Stephen Faulkner.
The actual wording on the next trophy is for perseverance and is awarded each year to the student who has made the most progress with his or her learning in the lead up to their GCSE exams. This year's winner will be announced by Mrs Vincent.
This year, the Eric Haggard Award for Endeavour goes to a student who showed great resilience and was always determined and conscientious. The name of the award, Endeavour, sums this up. This year, the Eric Haggard Award for Endeavour goes to Daniel Radbourne.
We now have the Moy Hughes Achievement Award, presented each year in memory of Moy Hughes from Harbury. Moy was a tireless supporter of the college, both as a parent and as a long-standing member of the PTA. He was always keen to champion the cause of those students who do not always find learning easy. Mrs Whitehead will explain about who was won this year.
This year, the award goes to a student who did incredibly well in his GCSEs, despite some difficulties along the way. The 5 and 6 he achieved in his English was well deserved, and we are very proud. This year, the Moy Hughes Award goes to Tom Dixon.
Unfortunately, Tom can't be here tonight, but we will pass on his award.
The Chair and Governor's Award. This award is presented to last year's head boy and head girl. This award goes to Chris Simmons and Georgia Lyle.
I'd like to take this opportunity to personally thank Chris and Georgia for their contributions to the school. You did an outstanding job and we wish you the very best in the future, so thank you. This final award is made each year at the discretion of the head teacher to the student or students who did the most to promote the college. Mr Samra will explain about this year's winner.
Okay, good evening everybody. The Head Teacher's Award this year goes to a hard-working, caring and diligent, friendly student who really was a delight throughout all her time at Southern College. Her positive attitude resulted in her fantastic achievements. She achieved grade 9s or an A star in every single subject. That achievement was in line with the top 3% of students throughout the whole country. This year's Head Teacher's Award, I'm really delighted to say, goes to Maisie White.
Whilst that marks the completion of the presentation of subject awards, special awards and trophies, we will be later presenting examination certificates to students and former students who have not yet been on the stage this evening.
We're now delighted to introduce our special guest for the evening. When Marie Rowe was learning Pitman shorthand at school in England, she had no idea that one day it would be used to open up doors into the Hollywood industry.
Living spontaneously allows her to see that no matter where we are in our character development, just like the Hollywood stars Marie worked with, we're looking to be acknowledged and appreciated for who we are. A native of Coventry, Marie studied drama and business, as well as beauty therapy and croupier work, before emigrating to Canada, where she got a job with a PR firm, becoming a production manager on TV in Canada.
Moving to Los Angeles, Marie assisted theatre director John Hurst when he directed Anthony Hopkins in The Tempest. Her next job was in film acquisitions, marketing and distributing with the Samuel Goldwyn Company. She then graduated into film production with director Barry Levingston and worked on many films, including Good Morning Vietnam, Rain Man and Disclosure. She also has cast a number of independent films and produced several award-winning shorts. Marie now lives in the UK and has done inspirational speeches for TED Talks. Please welcome to Southern College, Marie Rowe.
This is the first time I've been here to hand out trophies. I'm delighted. There's so many talented people here. And I actually didn't go to college. I left school at 15. So I learned shorthand, and I liked it. It was a foreign language, and I really wanted to be an actor. Well, they used to say actress in those days, but now it's actor. And so I also studied drama. And you know, at that age, you don't really know what you want to do. I mean, things change in life. You know, you have an idea, you think, oh, I remember I wanted to be an air hostess. That's what they were called in those days, because it was very glamorous. Well, when you think of air hostesses now, they're like glorified waitresses. It's not really that glamorous. And then I wanted to be a nurse, and so life went on, and I got married, and that didn't work out, and so I decided to travel. And this really was the beginning of a new adventure in many ways, because you never know what's around the corner. I always say that security for me is not knowing what's around the corner, because that's exciting. I think when you have this straight path, and you've got a goal, when people say, what's your 5-year goal, what's your 10-year goal? It's like, oh, that scares me to death. Because how can you know? Because so many things happen in your life that are unexpected. And so you have to be prepared for that. And so when I was traveling, I never knew really where I was going. I ended up, I was in Greece for a year, and I ended up working for the American Army in Germany. And I was having to send in samples of urine to this hospital in Landstuhl to have the urine tested for drugs. Because these young men had been in Vietnam and they had drug problems. So I was the drug abuse secretary in Germany. You know, I'd been a legal secretary at Skillington Brown in Coventry. And then here I am, you know, the drug abuse secretary. But I learned how to do lab tests. I learned how to do pregnancy tests and tests for sickle cell anemia. Now, you know, I didn't have any medical experience, but I was open to possibilities. If someone said, would you like to do this? I'd say, yes, yeah, I'll do it. I learned how to draw blood. And it was just amazing, because when the American Army, as you can imagine, was a bit like MASH at the time. So they were very loose. So consequently, here I am, a civilian, doing all of these things. But it was an amazing experience, because I saw a side of life that I'd never imagined living in Coventry. I mean, these were young men who were often 18, 19, the age that some of you young men are now. And they'd seen horrible things. And that changed them for life. And it's just horrendous that they might have had these plans, and I know they did, to become engineers or doctors or lawyers. But this got in the way, and it took away their confidence, took away the meaning for them of life. So in the majority of cases, I must say, they bounce back. And I think that's what happens when we create character. Things happen to us, going along great, and then suddenly it's not great anymore. Something went wrong, and it's like, why did that happen? And when you get kind of down. But you have to know that everything happens for a reason. I really believe that. I think people come into our lives, and they're there for a reason, to teach us. And we're also here to learn. So every experience is really part of our college. And, but when you go out into the big wide world and into these careers that you think you found for yourself, you don't know what to expect. And then it's all part of that growth experience. So I worked for the American Army for six months. And then I got freaked out because it was a murder, and I was implicated. I didn't murder any, but I'd been involved with this man who was a drug addict, and because I was the drug abuse secretary, they put 2 and 2 together and got 14. So anyway, I left Germany and went to Greece, and lived in Greece for a year, and I was a DJ in a discotheque, and I cleaned toilets, and I worked in kitchens, because I needed to. I didn't have the money. But the fact was, this for me was like exciting, because I thought, well, I never imagined I'd be doing this. Not that I wanted to clean toilets. But what it does, it puts things in perspective. You start seeing these aspects of life from another point of view. Because we take a lot of things for granted. You know, the trash people pick up the trash. You know, people will be there in the bank. People will, you know, we expect things to be delivered to us. And who does that? You know, who are those wonderful people? And so when you are actually doing the kind of jobs that you imagine you do, that other people just do all the time, it gives you a new respect for other people. And I lived with Palestinian Arabs in Israel. I went there and stayed with his family because I met a fellow in Stuttgart, and he was an Arab. And he said, oh, I'm going to stay with my family in Acre in Israel. So I stayed with these wonderful people, and they were Palestinian Arabs. And they've been taken away from their home. And they were in this place, well, they were in a home, but it wasn't very nice. But they were waiting to go back to their real home. And they were still waiting, years and years. And they were very kind to me, and they had nothing. But likewise, the Jewish family, the Israelis that I stayed with, they were also kind. So it's like, you can't make a judgment, oh, they're bad people and they're good people. Everybody's good. Everybody, you have to look for the good in people. And because people want to be kind. So I think if you show that kindness and openness, you know, here I was, I didn't speak the language, but somehow we communicated, this is with the Palestinian Arabs. And I sat with ladies, and they were making these patty things, and they asked me whether I was married, and where I got my kaftan, which I'd made on the beach in Greece. And we weren't speaking English, but we understood one another. So it was just an amazing experience for me, but knowing that they are suffering, they were suffering, and there was a lot of conflict, and I saw examples of that. So anyway, I did some traveling, and I learned some things, and then I go back to England and came back to England. I thought, no, I've got to keep going. So I emigrated to Canada, and I met a guy on a beach in Greece, and he said, I'm a lawyer, if ever you need to be sponsored, I'll sponsor you, if you want to come to Toronto. And I had some friends who were there, so that's what I did. And I worked in the law office, and I hated it, because he'd sponsored me, but there were 400 people in this huge firm in downtown Toronto. And I'd been used to Skillington and Brown, there were only 8 of us. So it was quite a contrast. And so I decided after a few weeks that I couldn't stay there. So I've done a lot of things that I've been secure in a job, but then I thought, no, this isn't for me. I have to move forward, I have to keep moving forward and learning. And my shorthand skills, of course, I use most of the time as a secretary. But I left that law firm and went into PR. And I loved it when we had press conferences, because all these guys would come from the TV stations with the cameras, and it was so glamorous, It's like, oh gosh, I want to do that. So I got a job in television. I mean, it's a long story how I got there. I did it for something nice, or I helped somebody out. I didn't do it because I was thinking I might get something back from it. But I did this lady a favour, and she said, how can I return your favour? What do you really want to do in life? What do you want to do? I said, I'd love to work at the CBC in drama. And so she said, oh yes, her husband worked there. And so I got an interview with him. And I got into the CBC. But what I did was I visualized myself on the phone saying, hello, CBC drama department. And then I'd imagine telling people, yes, I work at the CBC in the drama department. And so I had this whole picture. And I think, well, athletes do this a lot, they visualize. And obviously, it's the positive thing to have to visualize. But I think if you put yourself in that position, you see yourself in a certain situation, whether it's in a job or a college, university, whatever it is, you've got to believe that you're there. And if it's meant to be, I mean, I always think that sometimes it's not meant to be. You're meant to do something else or go somewhere else. But you have to trust yourself and listen to your instincts. And this is something I've always done. I've trusted my instincts. Because really that's what we have. I say to actors when I got involved in casting, I'd say to actors, you know, some of them are just starting out and they kind of want to take anything. And I said, no, you know, there's some great roles for actors, but there are also some awful producers and people who exploit young people. And I said, listen to your instincts, you know, always be sensitive and have your radar up. And which is what I say to you, it's like, you know, when you know something, when you've got a talent, when you've learned and you've got these trophies and awards, and you've excelled, and that is worth so much. And some person might come along and say, oh, well, you did that, but really, why don't you do this? You've got to say, well, no, this is what I want to do in my life. And then it might change, as I said, you know, a few years down the road. But take risks. I mean, I took risks. You know, I ended up working television. I was a production manager and managing budgets for TV shows. Now, I was hopeless at maths at school. It was terrible. And yet, this man, the head of production, said, you know, I'd like you to think about being a production manager. I said, oh, no, I can't do that, Hugh. I'm terrible at maths. He said, oh, well, I know you can do it. I believe in you. And because he said that, I thought, oh, wow, he believes in me. And I said, I won't let you down. I won't let you. He said, oh, no, you won't. So here I was, a production manager in the TV variety department now. And I'm sitting there with all these files for shows, and they were chat shows and game shows and variety shows. And I didn't have a clue what to do. And the head of the department came in and he said, how's it going, Maria? I said, oh, it's a bit overwhelming, Jack. He said, well, it's just common sense. He said, you've got $20, you go to the store, you buy your milk and your bread and your butter or whatever, but you can't spend more than $20. Except now you've got a budget of $500,000 and you're hiring musicians and designers and actors and you're paying for travel and hotels, per diem and so forth. But that makes sense to me. I went, yeah. That makes sense. It's common sense. So it wasn't brain surgery, you know, it was just something, you know, it became clear to me. Now, I wouldn't have thought in a million years that I'd be doing that, managing budgets for TV shows. But I loved it. I met a lot of famous people. But then I wanted to go to America. I've been there 6 years in Toronto. I thought, yeah, I really want to go and work in the film industry. So I made my way to LA. I had an accident, car accident to start with, and a lot of stories. But I made it. But there was another thing. I was determined. I didn't have a green card. In fact, I was illegal for 11 years in the States. But you don't look at me and go, oh, she's an illegal alien. You know, I had a nice English accent, and the Americans love the English accent. And but I believed that I was supposed to be there, that this was my fate, if you like. And the first job I got was with the Samuel Goldwyn Company, and it was learning about what happens when a film's made. It's like the back end of it. You know, a film doesn't get made and just thrown on the screen. It has to be marketed and distributed, and a lot of things go into it. So I learned that end of it. But I did the same thing. I was the first to be interviewed for this job. Well, first of all, I interviewed for assistant to Sam Goldwyn. And I went to be interviewed, and the secretary, the outgoing secretary, said, oh, you'll be arranging all his tennis dates with Charlton Heston and lunches with Gregory Peck, and he was throwing out all these names. So I wasn't impressed, really. I thought, I don't want to be a social secretary. I want to learn about the film industry. And so I kind of made up my mind right there and then. I didn't want to do this job. Now, that was crazy. Here I am, I don't have a green card. I'm not supposed to work. I had a social security card, which is like a national insurance card, so that was a good one. But anyway, I'm leaving the office, and a little voice in my head, my little angel or instinct, said, why don't you find out, maybe there's another job going? So I said to the secretary, well, there wouldn't be anything else available, would there? And she said, well, as a matter of fact, there is, but we haven't posted it yet. And it was working in acquisitions, marketing of film, and all of those areas that get a film onto the screen. So I was first to be interviewed, and they interviewed 26. people. And usually if you're the first, they forget about you. And I waited a few weeks, and I knew I got the job. And it was through an agency, and I kept saying to the editor, oh, I know I got the job. He is so confident. I said, I've got a feeling. And I also did that visualization thing again. Visualize, saying, yes, I work Samuel Goldwyn, and Samuel Goldwyn Company. Even to the point where I was moving from a place called Torrance to Santa Monica, which I also visualized living in Santa Monica, and it happened. And I was moving, I had to open a bank account in Santa Monica, and it said on the form, place of employment, and I put the Samuel Goldwyn Company. I was a temp. I wasn't working for the Samuel Goldwyn Company. But I really believed that. I really believed that I got the job. It wasn't even, oh, I hope I get it. Oh, I really, wish. I thought, I know, I got it. And where I got that from, the confidence, I don't know. But it's like having belief in yourself, having belief in the process of life. Every step we take is leading us somewhere in a good way. We believe that. So anyway, the first day I went out, the first day on the job, my boss, who was a Harvard guy, his best friend was Orson Welles, and he's very lofty and so forth. He took me to lunch. He said, oh, I'm curious, how did you get your green card? And I said, oh, well, I used to work for the American Army, and I met an American, and that was true, met a few. And I got married. He said, oh, okay, that wasn't true. And so acting, my acting experience came in quite useful. And so I said to him, well, I'm curious, why did you hire me? And he said, well, I talk to people in Canada, and you have a good reputation. And so I would say, don't burn bridges. Some people say, burn bridges, go beyond the bridges. But I say, don't burn them, because you never know who you're going to affect. And I tried to be a nice, I hate that word nice, she's so nice, but it's good to be nice. I mean, to make a good impression, because people remember that. And it doesn't take anything, to just be polite to people, to be sensitive, and think, put yourself in their position, and say, well, how would I feel if I was going through that? And that for me is one of the most important things, especially when you're working in teams. When you work on films, you work with a lot of different personalities because you've got egos. And so you have to learn to get along. And it isn't always easy because you're working together for 6 months sometimes. You're a family. And families fall out. We know that. But anyway, I was with Goldwyn for 2.5 years, and then I left there because people were being promoted over me, and men were being promoted over 3 of us women who were in line to have really good jobs, but the men came in and took the jobs. So that wasn't nice. So 3 women walked out. And I didn't have a job to go to. But I felt I was being taken advantage of, as were the other 2 women. There's a point where you go, yeah, it's a great job, it's wonderful, but hey, I'm not being treated with respect. I'm not being acknowledged for what I'm doing here, for what I'm giving. And that's another thing you'll learn as you go along. It's like, don't go, oh, well, I'm really lucky to have this job, and oh, I better not leave, because, in Hollywood, everybody wants to work with famous directors and famous actors. And they're not always treated well. But it's the prestige. They believe that if I did it myself. I go, people say, what do you do? And I'd say, oh, I'm working with Robert De Niro. And they go, oh, really? How's he? And it became about Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and I have worked with all of these people. Warren Beatty, Tom Cruise, Dustin Hoffman, Harrison Ford. I've worked with all of these people. And I would say, perhaps not Tom Cruise, but the majority of actors are insecure. Here they are, they're on the screen and people go, oh, well, he's not very good in this, oh, she's bad, oh, whatever. And as Dustin Hoffman, I worked with him 3 times on different projects. And he always says he never forgets that he was an out-of-work actor. And it doesn't matter, he gets a role in a film, but he always thinks, maybe this is the last one. Maybe I'll never be able to work again. But because of that insecurity, they need praising all the time. They need being told, they like to be told, yeah, you did really, they'll say, how did I do that? You're great, really good. You know, sometimes you can't be too honest because they get offended. And then their insecurities are all like, well, what didn't you like about it? Why didn't that? Oh, well, so, but that's what I learned, was that we all have our insecurities, and we have to overcome them. And I think how we have overcome them is by, yes, that whole cliche of like believing in yourself. It is true. I mean, I love the fact that so many people here have volunteered and gone to, was it Uganda? I mean, that is amazing. In my life, I've always volunteered. I believe that. And I'd always say to actors who were so involved, so self-involved, when it was all about them, I'd say, why don't you just get out of yourself and go and do some volunteer work? Because it also gives you another perspective. And you're reaching out to other people. It's not all about you. You know, I worked at the Children's Home for 10 years, volunteer at the Children's Home for 10 years. Marilyn Monroe went there, but not when I was there. She lived there for 2.5 years. And these are children who were abused and abandoned. And they really didn't have anybody. Just the mentors or special friends, we were called. And we would turn up for them. And that's it. When you make a commitment, you need to turn up. You need to be there, 100%. Be nice, be cheerful, be excited, be curious. I mean, that is worth so much, really, because being curious is never ending, because you can just keep going and learning more and more. And, you know, I ended up working with this director, Barry Levinson, and working on screenplays with my shorthand. He would talk, and I would take it down in shorthand and type it back. But I didn't just type it back every word that he said. I would edit things. I would, you know, I don't know, I just thought, no, that's not right. And he said that before, and that's a waste of time. And he didn't doubt me. I mean, I'd say, what do you think? And I wouldn't say, oh, I did this and I did that. I gave it to him as though it came perfectly out of his mouth. And he said, well, yeah, that's good, yeah, I like that. But I didn't get credit for that. I didn't get writing credit. I didn't get the money I should have got. I didn't get a lot of benefits because he was the talent, really. I mean, he was creating the script. I was just helping him mold it a little bit and just change a few things that didn't make sense. But I went on from there to casting, so because I love drama and I've acted. Often when actors come in to be auditioned, they're with a casting director, and the casting director is not giving them a reading back, they're just reading the lines. So they're not giving the actor anything. So I used to do it because, I could act. I like to do it. And so I got involved in casting, and then I went to Thailand to do Good Morning Vietnam. And I cast over 40 speaking roles, and they were Vietnamese and Thai, and American, Canadian, British, being American. And I had to find 500 guys to be GIs. We had a scene that was 3 days long, and at an airport showing all of these troops coming in to Vietnam, and some of them going back in not a great shape. I mean, it was really truthful, that's what happened. And I needed these guys for 3 days. And so, tell me when you want me to show. I can go on. Anyway, and so here we were, it's like 110 degrees Fahrenheit at the airport. And they've got fatigues on, and they've got heavy backpacks, because the director said, put 50-pound weights in, because I don't want them flopping up and down. Well, these are guys, what I did, I went to the youth hostels and put posters up, said if anybody wants to be in a movie, guy. And we paid $35 a day, which is a huge amount when you're backpacking. and you meet Robin Williams, and you may need to have a haircut. Now, they'd been on the beach, you know, no shoes, nothing, and here they're wearing these heavy suits and heavy boots, and so, they're exhausted, their faces are red, and sweating, and blistered feet, and they were miserable. And says, it's not worth it, I don't even want to do this. I thought, no, because I need to go for continuity. And we haven't even seen Robin Williams yet. And I said, yeah, I'm sorry, you know, he's been out there, but yeah, of course, you know, you'll see Robin Williams. So I went to Robin, and he said, what's going on? He was like a little puppy. He was also happy and anxious to help. What's going on? So I said, the natives are getting a little restless. So he said, what do you mean? I said, well, you know, they haven't seen you, it'd be lovely. Oh, yeah, of course. So he goes out, and he spends at least half an hour talking to these guys, making jokes, connecting with them on a very real level, and it made all the difference in the world. So they were all ready to go now. It's just that little gift, you know, it's that acknowledging that, yeah, people have needs, and you can't take people for granted. And usually on movies, extras aren't treated that well. So at the end of the day, all the guys would get on the bus to go back to Bangkok, because we were at the airport. And I'd say, I'd try to remember as many names as possible. And the producer, who now produced Breaking Bad, which you may know, Mark Johnson, said to me, how can you remember so many names? You know, Paul, Derek, Graham. I said, I have to. It was important because I wanted these men to know that they were an important part of the movie. We couldn't make the movie without them. So, but I needed to tell them that. And also needed them to come back the next day. And the next day. And out of 500, I lost 5. And one of them was African-American, black, and there were a lot of African-American or black GIs in the war, but they weren't backpacking in Thailand. So I needed black faces, and this young man was American and he was black, but he was a bit of a stirrer. And why aren't there more black people in the crew? Why aren't there more? I said, well, I'm sorry, you know, there's Keith, because the crew were British. And one of the guys was wardrobe, and he was light-skinned. He said he's mixed. I'm going, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I did my best. You know, a couple of African allies. I said, well, there you go. No, they're African men. And I thought, I don't need this. You know, this is ridiculous. And so I told him he had to go. I really needed a space, but I was willing to be strong and to know that this is what needed to be done. It doesn't matter how nice you are. You need to be nice, but you also need to know when to be able to say no, when to be able to put someone in their place. Because it's for the good of the film, it's for the good of the project, and it reflects on you if something isn't, or someone isn't working out. Anyway, I think there were a couple of guys from drugs and one was alcoholic, but when you think 500, and these are guys from all over the world, because America is made up of people from all over the world. And you put them in fatigues and they're, you know, the GIs. Anyway, I've got lots of stories about Robin, and then working on Rain Man was amazing. It was just an amazing, here I was going to work on another film called Casualties of War, and I couldn't do it because the men were so misogynistic. The way they treated the women, it was so. Yeah, I learned a lot from that experience, and I also learned to walk away. And I was miserable. I called Barry Levinson and I said, "What are you doing?" He said, "I'm doing this little movie called Rain Man with Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman." And because the Casualties of War was about gang rape and murder, I said, "Well, what's it about?" What's Rain Man about? He said, "Well, it's not gang rape and murder. You know, it's a lovely story." So Friday I was casting Viet Cong, and Monday I was in a group home for developmentally disabled individuals with special needs, and it was so heartwarming. It was like an amazing experience for me. because I'd been a little judgmental. I'd never been around people like that. And I just realised that everyone is different. We're all unique. It doesn't matter what body we're in, how we look. We all have the same heart and soul and spirit. And we all have the capability of being great. We do have it. It doesn't matter what's happened. Sometimes things happen to you and you go, why is that happening? No, well, that shouldn't be happening. And then you walk down the road a little bit and then you go, oh yeah, that's why that happened. I had to learn from that to be in this position. So anyway, I've produced, I'm ready to go. Yeah, ready to go. Okay, so that's it.
So thanks to Marie for that wonderful speech. We now move on to the certificates, which we presented in groups of 5. Please welcome onto the stage the following students to collect their GCSE certificates.
Cara Barnes, Adam Bennett, Jack Boddington, Chloe Broomhead and Mary Brower.
Next we have Alice Coles, Leah Constable, Katie Cummins, Luke Kirkman and Leah Kenny.
We have Jessica Eggleston, Jessica Good, Benjamin Hickey, Nicholas Hill and Georgina Hurt.
We now have Max Hurtubise, Sophie Huxley, George Applevides, Ewan Keith and Glenn Strong.
We now have Maria Macaulay, Daniel Medjett, Oliver Jordan Oliver, Mary Pavey and Jack Painter.
Up next we have Emily Taylor, Francesca Ware, Aoife Williams and Kia Wood.
We now have Holly Beatty, Katie Waterfield, Ben Fisher, Jamie Unit, Tom Bottrell and Rachel Greenshield.
So we'll now move on to those collecting their A-level certificates, and they are Guy Almond, James Bath, Callum Beale, Emily Broadway and Ryan Carraway.
Next we have Hannah Churchill, Rebecca Crompton, Eloise Foster, Emily Rose Hammond and David Jenkins.
Up next we have Ben McCann, Charlotte Painter, Thomas Phillips, Joshua Phillips and Thomas Pilgrim.
We next have Chloe Powles, Tamsin Quarry, Eleanor Smalley and Adam Turner.
Lewis Turner, Timothy Byrne, Jack Porter, Gareth Welsh and Frida Williams.
We have Megan Wilson, Emily Woodbridge, David Simmons and Rebecca Farris. That completes our presentation. We would now like to welcome to the stage our head teacher, Mr. Samra.
Okay, I hope you can all hear me. Can I first of all thank Marie for her speech and also for using the word discotheque on stage. Discotheque, I love it. It's a brilliant word and all of you are looking at me thinking, what is that word? But they did exist and they were great fun. So I just want to talk really about a theme for tonight really. And for me, it's about change, but also things staying the same. Because I think throughout our whole experience, things do change. You started school here in 2011 or 2013. And I was trying to think back about how things have changed in that period of 7 years, in the period of 5 years. Just trying to think of things which came to mind. I looked at house prices. Interesting. House prices even within our local area. House prices have actually almost doubled in that period of time. I looked at the size of the area, the town, the number of homes in Southam. And an interesting fact, probably around about 1,400 homes. Now we're up to about 2,200, and that's going to increase to about 4,400. So it tells the story of change. But there are other things that change. We used to have phones in 2011, and then we used to call people. Strange. Most families had one car, and people bought CDs. So those were the things that were around then. And coffee shops were a rarity. If you spotted a coffee shop, now you can't get beyond. Now look how far we've come. In my house, I have somebody called Alexa. I can control my heating through something called Hive. I find my answers to the difficult questions my children ask by asking Siri. We have Netflix. Netflix, 5, 7 years ago, and that's before we come on to Snapchat, Instagram. And I had a really interesting discussion with one of my students who wanted to stay after the school hours for extra tuition with me this evening. It was called a detention. I started to talk to her about Snapchat and my story. Illuminating all of this. Twitter, Facebook, bloggers, YouTube stars, etc., etc. That whole world that you live in has changed. And I think there is an element of change. Change will happen. But I also think, in your period, I think there is going to be further change. I think we're going to be really overloaded with ownership of data. Who owns whose data? I think we're going to have augmented reality. I think there's going to be a position where everything is voice control. I think there might be a position where we have chips in our hand to open our front door, open our car, control our shopping. That's going to happen in your lifetime. And that's just me just thinking out. But lots of other things are going to happen. Can't even think of them. But in that midst of change, what I'd like you to think about, I think things stay the same. I really do. I think inherently, people are good. I think they have genuine goodness about them. And I always have a dispute with my wife sometimes about when we go somewhere, she says, you need to know the directions for everything. And I said, well, I'll just ask somebody. You know, because I do think people are inherently good. I think also, though, people take things for granted. And we all accept in our lives that what happened today is pretty much going to be what happens tomorrow, and the day after, and as Christmas comes, that's what's going to happen. But I think within all of this, and my messages for you are this: I think you're amazing. Miss Mason laughs at me every year. This is my 10th award ceremony. She said you smile like a Cheshire cat on stage, and if you, because you're so proud, and I am. And it's great to see you. And I went out to get some water earlier, and actually the best part is behind there, actually. And it is brilliant to see you all. Brilliant. I'm so proud of what you've achieved. And I guess my message to you is, in this world of change, things will stay the same. You need to stay the same and have those strong values. Some of the values, actually, that Marie was talking about. I think the values of kindness, of graciousness, of charity. We live in a world where, particularly with our political situation that we're in, there is so much tension. As you go forward in your own lives, keep those key values. And again, as I spoke to my student who wanted extra tuition, I said, what do you think are the key values? And she said, I think it's important to be kind. I think it's important to be respectful. And I think it's important, most of all, to be honest. Honest with yourself and honest in what you do. So go for it. Go for it by 2025, 2026. Who knows where we're going to be? I think you're going to be super successful because you've already shown your attitude is brilliant, and attitude will take you so far. I couldn't be more proud of you. I'm just so glad you gave us your time at Southall, and I wish you every success in the future.
Thank you for that inspirational speech. We would like to thank everyone for attending and collecting your trophies. We would also like to thank Marie and present her with a small gift for her excellent speech.
We would also like to thank all the tech crew at the back for doing all the lights and sound this evening, and we'd also like to thank Abby for her excellent harp playing and a lovely performance this evening.
And just a thank you to our host tonight, head boy and head girl. We've got a gift for Verity. And also a gift for Dan.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, really does mark the completion of the presentation of a record number of awards and examination certificates.
There will now be drinks and refreshments in the cafeteria. Thank you all for coming, and we wish you a very, very good
Stand next to them and see if they're making a loud noise, yeah? Because they won't. Then, get it, come back. They come back down to you.
Copyright. Is the screen done now?
No, it's fine. Wait. On it.